Hi everybody and welcome back to the Starting Grid F1 YouTube channel. Sorry we're a bit late, or this video is going to be going a bit late with having a few teething issues, few technical difficulties. We were going to go live, but that didn't happen. So we're going to pre-record and we're going to post it straight after we finish. So hopefully the video is not too late for you. But today we're going to be doing a quick video, kind of just talking about our 2022 driver lineup predictions. Basically just to talk about who we think is going to be in what seat next year. Just for a bit of fun. None of them will probably be right. We'll probably be wrong on every single one that we guess, but it's all for a bit of fun. If you have any disagreements or agreements with us, then obviously leave them in the comments and we'll kind of, agree to disagree. But without further ado, I'll stop waffling. We'll just get started and talking about our driver lineup predictions. Now, me and Loz haven't discussed at all who we think is going to be occupying what seat. So I think this could be quite interesting because obviously we might disagree, we might agree, you never know. But I think the first thing that we were going to do is start with the ones that have been confirmed for next year. Just get them out of the way because obviously they're not going to change. So I think the three that have been confirmed is McLaren, Ferrari and Alpine. Yep. So I can't see much movement in there. Obviously Alpine, Ocon signed a multi-year deal and Alonso exercised his contract to stay for another year. I'd kind of expected that with the whole, new regulations and everything like that.
And he has said that he wants to stay in F1 again for a longer period of time, so he could even look at continuing after that.
Exactly. So, yeah, he seems like he's pretty staying put. Next one was Ferrari. So, again, very, very solid driver lineup. Charles and Carlos, obviously, both fantastic drivers, both doing really, really well. Can't see that moving for a few years. I don't know about you, but...
No, I think the way Sainz has been driving this season as well has been unbelievable. So they'd be stupid to get rid of him.
Yeah, like I said, really, really strong driver lineup. Potentially one of the strongest on the grid this year. So, both got contracts for next year. So can't see that changing. And the final one that is confirmed for next year is McLaren. Obviously, Lando and Daniel. Lando, again, signed another multi-year deal. I don't think that kid's going anywhere for a long time. I think he's one of them, like McLaren through and through. And I don't think they'll want to get rid of him anytime soon either.
He's their poster boy, isn't he? Really?
Exactly. I can see him being one of those one team drivers, especially for a long time. So can't see that happening. Daniel, again, I know we'll have a year left on his contract this year. I know he's not been performing to especially Lando's standards. He can't, he's not been matching him. He's about 60 odd points behind him in the championship, which obviously isn't great. But I still have faith in him. I've still got faith in my boy. I think, with the new regulations coming in and stuff, and even he's been showing improvement as it is. So I think he just needs to carry on going. And I can't see them changing it either. I can't, he's not done that bad for them to want to get rid of him sort of thing and buy out his contract, I don't think.
I think we know with Ricciardo anyway that he can sometimes be a little bit slower once he moves teams. He can, it takes him a while to get used to the car and the team. So I don't think he's in any real worry at the moment with the team, even though he is obviously, like we were saying, a lot lower than Lando at the moment. They'd have to pay so much money to buy him out of the contract if they did want to get rid of him. And we've got up to 12 races left of the season anyway, so there's still time for him to improve in the car. So I don't think he's really a worry for McLaren at the moment at all.
Yeah, I've still got faith in him. So I'm sure the second half of the season will be a lot better than the first. We'll hope anyway. So yeah, that's obviously that's the confirmed ones, which are the McLaren, Ferrari, and Alpine. I'm not sure which one do you want to go for next. Red Bull, I guess.
Oh yeah, let's go for it.
So for me, Red Bull sort of picks itself again. Obviously Max is going nowhere. That's a given. And Checo, yes, he has struggled compared to Max, but every other teammate that he's had since Daniel has struggled compared to Max. If someone like Checo with his experience and his sort of how good of a driver he is struggling, it's saying something about that second seat, in my opinion. So I can't see them, changing for next year. I know there's talk of Gasly potentially going back up to Red Bull, but I can't ever see that happening again personally. But yeah, I think obviously Checo and Max for Red Bull next year.
Yeah, I'm 100% the same with you. Their lineup, Checo is he's doing all right in that seat. He's not doing as bad as some of the other second drivers that Red Bull saw as failures in that second seat. I didn't want to say it,
Yeah.
but it's kind of how they were seen, wasn't it? But I
Yeah.
think Checo is the best of the most recent second seat drivers. I don't, I think he's a strong enough driver. He's done well. He's had a few mistakes, but he's had a good first half of the season. So I think they'd be stupid again to get rid of a driver like Checo.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't see, obviously, someone like Yuki's not ready to go up to that seat yet.
No.
And like I said, I don't see Gasly going back up there. I feel like something's happened for him to have burnt his bridges a little bit with Red Bull.
Well, Helmut Marko's come out and said a few things, hasn't he, as well, about, I think, Gasly's contract, with in the AlphaTauri seat. If he doesn't go back up to the Red Bull seat, they're going to completely let him go. So,
Well, yeah.
And
as harsh as
doesn't
it
look
sounds,
likely.
as harsh as it sounds, though, as well, I know that obviously Gasly's a great driver, and I think he deserves a seat in the top team.
Mm-hmm.
However, the whole point of the AlphaTauri team is to bring up new drivers, and he's not going to be able to stay there forever, unfortunately. And if he's not going to get that route back up to Red Bull, then he's going to have to look somewhere else.
Yeah,
because he ain't staying there forever, and if he isn't going back to Red Bull, then he needs to find a seat somewhere. So
he's a driver. It'd be a shame if he doesn't get a seat one season and we lose him in the sport.
Yes,
but you could see he could do a knock on.
I was
lose
say,
a seat for a year and come back, because I think it'd be a wasted talent if he did, in the future lose a seat.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like I said, you can't deny he's a good driver. So
no.
I think that brings us nicely on to AlphaTauri that we'll talk about next. So again, I'm gonna go unchanged. I feel like Yuki Tsunoda, he started the season pretty well. He started very well, actually, and then he kind of got a bit shaky, making silly rookie mistakes, which is is expected. He's a rookie, but he seems to pulling it back. I think since Baku, he's been finishing in the top 10. He's been scoring good points for the team, and I can't see them giving up on him after one season. I also think they're going to keep Gasly for one more year. But I think this will be his final year in AlphaTauri, and I think if he doesn't find another seat, then he could be out, because again, there's quite a few Red Bull juniors waiting in the wings now. Obviously, you've got that Yuri Vips, Liam Lawson, Daruvula. You've got 3 very, very talented drivers waiting for that seat. And I think as much as I love Pierre, I feel like one of them 3 drivers is gonna get the step up. So I think next year we're going to have Pierre and Yuki again, but I feel like it could change after that.
Yeah. Again, I am in agreement. Is that the word? I have put both of them down. I do worry for Yuki a little bit. As much as we kind of love his radios, and he is quite aggressive on the radio, and for a kid who's just come into Formula One, you're not Kimi Raikkonen. I do think he can be a little bit too much, in my opinion, but at the end of the day, the driving, has got to speak for him more than his radio performances. So I think they will give him another season. We know he's a talented driver. We know he can do it. And obviously so did AlphaTauri. So they're definitely going to give him another year. But I think that's going to be his test year, in all honesty. He's a very, very fast driver. I pinned him as the little dark horse of this season. It's not really worked out just yet, but there is still time. But yeah, he's getting that seat next season.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like one more season, if he carries on the way he is, like with the making the mistakes, then they'll probably get rid. But you know how harsh the Red Bull system can be. But I feel like one more year, I think, for him to prove himself, and I think he probably deserves it, to be fair.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, that is for AlphaTauri. That's Alfa Romeo then. We won't go on to that one yet. Onto that one next. That's where it gets a bit juicier. But I think the next one we should probably go on to is Aston Martin. So again, I know it's boring, but staying the same. Obviously, Seb has just moved to the team. He's really he did start off a bit shaky, and I thought, oh no, not another season like last season with Ferrari. But he seems to be picking it up, picking up them podiums. Obviously, I know he got disqualified from the last one, but we don't want to talk about that because that makes me really upset. But I think he's safe. I think obviously he's got a contract. I don't know how long it is, but he's got a contract for a couple of years, and I think he could really help with the development of the team, obviously with his experience and stuff. And obviously, Lance Stroll is keeping his seat. As long as his dad owns that team, he'll be in that seat. Like, he isn't going to kick his own son out of the team, is he? And to be honest with you, people call him a paid driver. I do think he's a good driver. I think,
Me too.
I think he can be quite unlucky. He had a lot of unlucky moments last year, and he's had a few this year, to be fair. And
Tiregate being one of them.
Tiregate, yeah, exactly. And I know he made a very, very, very stupid mistake in Hungary, but it happens. But I think on the whole, he's a good driver, and he probably does deserve a seat. But obviously, again, Lawrence ain't going to get rid of his son, is he? So
no. Yep. Again, the same. Shock horror.
Wow.
Oh, not my camera. Getting excited. Vettel, he's got his contract. He's dead certain. And he's having a decent season with them. Obviously, he has had a little bit of an unlucky streak in some parts, but yeah, he's deserved his seat at Aston Martin. He's now starting to pick up and improve. So again, no brainer really. Stroll, it's actually never been confirmed, obviously, that he is gonna stay, but we know he is. Like you say, his dad's not gonna sack him, but I don't think he's. Oh God, that'd be interesting. But I don't think even if he is just daddy's driver, he's not done anything to say otherwise and not stay in the team. He's earned his place. He drives well. He's a good driver. I think some of the backlash he gets is very harsh. In all honesty, we've seen him do it before. I just think I don't think there's anyone else really for Aston Martin at this moment in time. I think he's a good driver for them. So yeah.
Or you could go with what Villeneuve said and Stroll to Mercedes.
Jesus Christ!
I want to be on what he's smoking because I don't ever see that happening personally. You never know. You know what F1 silly season's like, but I can't see it anyway. But but yeah, obviously both in agreement for that one. Pretty straightforward. Right, we're gonna go. I think we'll go for Haas next.
Yeah.
Let's go for Haas next, and then we'll get onto the beefiness. Boring again. Schumacher and Mazepin. Again, Schumacher. I don't see him going anywhere else right now. I mean, probably is destined for that Ferrari seat one day, but obviously he's not ready yet. That's clear to see. But obviously a talented young driver, 100%. And Mazepin, again, he's going nowhere. I mean, until either he's got that seat until his dad doesn't want him to, or his dad could. I have a theory that his dad might even buy out the team. Because I don't know how much longer Gene Haas is going to want to stay in F1.
Well, people are saying about the branding might change and the team name might change, and Haas
it'll become the Uralkali F1 team also, won't it? So yeah, I see that happening because I mean, unless Haas have a really good season next year, I don't know, but I just don't know how much patience Gene Haas has left with the team. Obviously, if you've watched Drive to Survive, obviously you'll know how frustrated he was getting last season. So. Yeah, again, pretty boring prediction, but Schumacher and Mazepin.
Yeah, I've gone with the same. Obviously, there is a lot of rumours surrounding Schumacher with Alfa Romeo as well. So I know that is in a lot of people's minds, but personally, I don't think he is going to go there at all. And there is still the rumours that he could go to Ferrari, which I 100% don't think he's ready. I think it'd be stupid to do that. I don't think it'd be fair on him either, because there'd be a lot of pressure on his back in his second season in the sport. Well, in the F1, in the F1 lineup. So I think that would be. I don't think that'd be fair on him. So I think the right decision is to stay at Haas for one more season. They've already said they've kind of written off this season anyway, Haas. Yeah. So you don't know what can happen next season and how the car can be. I'm not saying they're going to be up there, but if they're looking at doing improvements on the car, it could help Schumacher in the long run to get to that Ferrari seat.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, I agree.
Both of them staying.
Yeah, right. So there's 3 teams left now. We have Williams, Alfa Romeo, and Mercedes. Which one do you think we should talk about first? Go on, you pick.
I want to go with Mercedes
Yeah, I was
because
thinking
then I
that.
think it then leads
It's a
on.
nice segue into the final 2
Yes.
teams.
If that gives a little bit of a way of give it away of what I'm thinking on the other 2 teams. So my Mercedes lineup is Hamilton. Obviously, he signed his contracts. We know he's there. He's
Yeah.
going nowhere. My second one is the anticipated George Russell in that black Mercedes. I think it's now time. It's his time to shine. He's had some unbelievable qualifying results in that Williams. He's even seen a Q3.
Exactly, and
That's unreal. So I think now he's opened people's eyes. Obviously, last season as well, he had that great race in the Mercedes. It was just obviously unfortunate.
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
It was just obviously he got a lot of bad luck that day.
Yeah.
But I think now we've all been waiting for it, and I think if Mercedes know what they're doing in this sport, I think it's time because they'll need to test Russell in that car because when Hamilton retires, it's probably going to be the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
So now's the time to do that. Get Russell bedded into the Mercedes team and see what he can do in that car.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Obviously Hamilton's staying, he's staying as long as he wants to. Like that's basically his team, his choice at the end of the day. And yeah, I would say George Russell in that second seat. I feel like Mercedes they have a it's a quite a big decision to be fair to make. I mean, if they keep Bottas, Bottas has been he's been a solid wingman to Hamilton for the last few years. You know what I mean? Maybe it's been a bit shaky this year, but in previous years he's helped them to the constructors. He's always been there to pick up the pieces. You know what I mean? And he doesn't tend to. I know he's getting a bit frustrated this season, but he tends to let the team work in favour of Hamilton to get him the wins to get all the maximum points he can get for the constructors. However, I think if Mercedes were to keep Bottas this year or next year, they'd be playing it far too safe. You can't. Yeah. I know it sounds like the easy option, and it is the easy option, but you've got a talented Mercedes Junior in a useless car. Who we've seen how much potential he's got. Like in my opinion, I think he's definitely been one of the drivers of the season this year. Like how much he's extracted out of that Mercedes, out of that Williams, is insane. Like I know it kind of annoyed me that Latifi ended up outscoring him in Hungary because if you look at that,
but did you hear what they said? What
no?
George said?
So about
keeping him in front. Yeah.
See, I reckon that was a ploy because he'd be like, "Oh, look, Mercedes, look what I can do. Look, I can help Hamilton win."
Yeah.
So I honestly think it was like a bit of a job interview for him. But yeah, well, you've got George waiting for a seat at the end of the day, and I mean, it's if he hit Williams for another season, he's wasted. He's being wasted. His talent is being wasted. And like I said, he could do with that experience. So if Hamilton only stays for another 2 years, for example, and sees out his contract, they could do with him at the team as well, learning from him. So then as soon as Hamilton retires, he's straight up there. He's right up there already. Do you know what I mean? He has that experience and that training with the team. So like I said, I mean, part of me does still think that they might go for Bottas. However, I don't want to believe it. I really don't want to believe it because I feel like everyone will go into a meltdown if that happens. And like I said, I think Mercedes will be playing it far, far too safe if that does happen. So I'm going to go with, to be honest with you, from what has been said from team principals and etc., I reckon potentially the deal or the agreement could have been done already. I think it could have been done weeks ago. But they don't want to maybe kind of announce it or, they don't want to unsettle things mid-season. Yeah. But yeah, I think they definitely know. George and the team definitely know something that we don't know. I don't know if you've watched some of the interviews where he looks quite, I don't know, he laughs. He's quite, whenever they ask about Mercedes, he gets the giggles and stuff. And I'm like, you know something.
Like a little kid that knows the secret and knows they can't tell anyone.
Exactly. But no, I'll stop waffling now. But yeah, I think in that those seats next year will be Hamilton and Russell, all British lineup in the German team.
Yes. Yeah. I think as well, like if Bottas stays, he needs to go for his own sanity. he can. I know some people it might not affect them, but he can see the the things that are being saying about him and things like that. It's not good for anyone really. He's obviously getting frustrated in the team. I think not just because I think I want George Russell in the Mercedes seat. I think I would like to see Bottas move for himself.
Yes.
Because I do genuinely like him, and I don't think he's a bad driver at all.
Yeah.
But it's just been a struggle when you're in that second seat next to Hamilton.
I think the thing with Bottas as well is, I mean, we'll stop talking about Bottas in a minute, but I think the thing is with Bottas as well, if he moves to a different team and potentially is paired up with a more inexperienced driver, they could build that team around him. Yeah. And that could be really good for his confidence. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially, because at the end of the day, you don't know how the car's going to perform next year. You don't know how the team's going to perform with the whole new regulations. So if he went to I'm not going to give it away, but if he went to like a different team, for example, he could be the leader of that team. They could build that around him. And then he would, you never know what could happen, really. I think all the uncertainty about the new regs, I think it's interesting. But yeah. Should we move on from Bottas?
Yeah, and I'm interested who you want to talk about next, which team after that conversation.
I think we'll go for Alfa Romeo.
Okay, so, you go first.
My lineup, I think, because I personally think there needs to be more teams than F1, because when you get to teams like this, you've got a whole list of drivers that you could go for. And then obviously currently Alfa Romeo have got Kimi and Giovinazzi. Kimi, he needs to just retire. Like, he's not what he used to be. He's been making stupid mistakes recently, like that when he had been sent with George, I think it was last season or this season. He had that last lap crash with Vettel.
That was a stupid one. Two of the most experienced drivers on the grid. That was silly.
Yeah, and I just think, you know what, his time's up. You're not the driver you used to be, and I think it's time for him to go. And I think, he's even admitted that he only does it for a hobby, so he might as well just go.
Imagine that, F1 being your hobby.
And obviously, Giovinazzi, again, I don't think he's a bad driver. Obviously, he's currently occupying the Ferrari seat at Alfa Romeo, but I don't ever see him making the step up to Ferraris. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's ever had any standout performances for the team. So I think Alfa Romeo are just going to have a clean slate, wipe it all out.
Okay.
And I think we're going to have two new drivers. Now, the first one is obviously good from segue from what we were talking about before. I think we're going to have Bottas in that first seat. I feel like they could build that team around him. He's an experienced driver. He knows what he's doing. And I feel like he could, be valuable for the team. And then who would partner him is quite a difficult one, because there are, again, quite a few Ferrari juniors. I know apparently that Alfa Romeo don't need a Ferrari driver anymore if they don't want to.
No, yeah,
but I think they will still have one. And obviously you've got a list of people who could go in it, Schwartzman, etc. But I'm going to go for Callum Ilott in that seat. I know that he's been doing testing and FP1s and stuff for Alfa Romeo. Obviously, he's a Ferrari junior. I think he's Ferrari's test and reserve driver or something. He's got some sort of Ferrari link anyway. And I feel like, I think it's a disgrace that he's not in F1 and Mazepin currently is.
Yeah.
Absolute disgrace. He deserves that seat. And, you saw, I don't know if you who really watches F2 and stuff, but I know the battle between Schumacher and Ilott last year was great. Like, they were both very, very good, and they both deserved a step up.
Yeah.
And I think with his links and everything, with links to Ferrari, links to Alfa Romeo, I think it picks itself. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Alfa Romeo. I'm going to go for Bottas and Ilott.
I don't want to seem like I'm lying here. I was swapping and changing quite a lot with these last two teams. A lot. Because at first I thought, do they want to change their full lineup? But if you're going to put someone like Bottas in, who is very, very experienced, I don't think that's as bad, because you're then bringing in Ilott. He can still learn off Bottas. It's not like you're bringing in two rookies or anything like that. Yeah. I did, because I think a lot of it was, I really need and want Ilott to be in F1.
Yeah, same.
And I think there's obviously been a lot of rumours with Bottas surrounding Alfa Romeo, especially from the Hungary weekend.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well,
I
apparently,
also say them too.
Not Bottas. The what's he called now? The team principal Alfa Romeo, Vasseur. Is that his
Yeah,
name?
I never remember his name. He's like the one that I never ever remember.
Apparently, he's been seen quite a lot in the Mercedes hospitality, especially at the last race. So, and apparently, I've heard this as well, that both Mercedes and Alfa Romeo have said that they want their driver lineups sorted by September. Now, that could be a coincidence, or it could be, there could be talkings going on between the teams. So, yes, right. So that's Alfa Romeo. We're going to both agree with Bottas and Ilott.
Yeah.
So Williams, I feel like
if this is the same, this is weird. We're not lying.
We've genuinely not discussed this at all. Right, Williams. Oh my god, if this is the same now. Right, so I'm going to go for. I'm going to think they're going to stick with Nicholas Latifi.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I know they've come out and said they don't need a paid driver anymore. I know they don't need to, they don't need that funding anymore. But I think it'd be silly for them to get rid of, if George were to go to Mercedes and them to get rid of Latifi, not having a driver's experience in that team, they need someone, who's there, who knows what's going on. And to be honest with you, he's not a bad driver. And people say he's a paid driver, which he is. He paid to be in the sport. Yeah. But, he's a good driver. And, I think he'll stay. For the second seat, this is where everything kind of,
there is a list as long as my arm.
So a couple of weeks ago, I would have said Dan Tickton. I would have said that. I would say he's a bit of an idiot, but he's a great driver. He's a very, very good driver in F2, and you can't deny that, no matter how much of an idiot he is. However, now he's been dropped by the Williams Academy. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So then you've got a long list of people. You've got Hulkenberg, you've got Albon, you've got name some more. You've got De Vries, you've got Bottas if he doesn't go to Alfa Romeo. You've got George if he doesn't go to Mercedes. You've got a long list of people who, Daniel Kvyat could be in that seat. I am going to go for my opinion, I'm going to go for Nick De Vries. No! Have you actually said that?
Yeah, put him in the thumbnail.
I've not said it. So I'm going to go for Nick De Vries. Clean sweep.
I promise, guys.
Swear down.
We have, even when she was writing them down before we click record, she was like, yeah, him.
We genuinely didn't even know. So my reasoning behind Nick De Vries is obviously he won F2. Obviously didn't get the step up to F1 because there just wasn't really any room for him. So obviously he went to Formula E, won Formula E. I don't think, what's the next thing for him? Surely he's proved himself in motorsport that he's ready to compete in F1.
Yeah.
Again, I was toying with other drivers. I thought maybe potentially Albon could potentially get up there. It just depends because he's still got that Red Bull link and stuff. But I think just looking at it on paper and looking at it like straight on, I do think De Vries will get that seat. Maybe Hulkenberg. I mean, he has driven for Williams before. But I feel like with Hulkenberg, they'd only get him if they got rid of Latifi.
Yeah.
So if Latifi was to go because they don't need a paid driver, I think it could be Hulkenberg and De Vries. But yeah, that's my reasoning for that. Take it away.
I think Latifi is going to stay. Like you say, they don't need that funding from him, but he's got the experience there with them now. He's not been doing too bad in a Williams car. Obviously, he's been outshadowed by Russell at the moment. So this could be his time to shine, really, this season, if he's not, next season, sorry, if he's not got George next to him. And De Vries, as you say, he's just won the World Championship with Formula E. I think as well, he come out and said something about the unexpected could happen, and it's just great. I think they were saying as well about how it's just great to see that Formula E is being taken seriously, and even just being in contention for a Formula One seat is such a big progression, for Formula E. So, and I think he'd really deserve the seat, in all honesty. Like you say, he's done it in F2, he's done it in Formula E. He's a good enough driver, and it'd be really interesting to see him in the lineup. So I'd be really, really happy to see him at Williams.
Exactly, and he's got that Mercedes link. Obviously, he drives for the Mercedes Formula E team, and they are dropping out after, is it next year? I think Mercedes dropping out of F1 next year. So obviously, I know Williams have got a bit of a link with Mercedes with the engine supplier and stuff. So it could come full circle and get that opportunity. But like we said, he's won F2, and usually that's enough to get you up to F1. But to go out, I know Formula E is completely different, but it's still a racing series, and it's still being taken more seriously now. So if he's won both, surely he should be in contention for that seat. 100%.
And I like the attitude from him, because some people can, win in F2 or do well in F2, not get the F1 seat, and they don't go anywhere, but they just become test drivers But he's thought, no, I'm gonna use this. Let's go and do something else, and he's gone and won it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's impressive from him, and he's still very young. So I think he'd be the perfect replacement for Russell.
Yeah, I do, 100%. But yeah, I can't believe we all put
that is so strange.
I genuinely thought there'd be at least one. Do you know what I mean? Like in Alfa Romeo or Williams.
I was close to keeping Giovinazzi.
Yes.
And not having Ilott. That was the one that was toyed with a lot today. I was really umming and ahhing, but I just thought, I'm gonna go for it. Being ballsy.
Why not? But yeah, so that was our predictions. Like I said, promise we didn't discuss them at all. That is just a very big coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I've been obviously watching a few videos of people's other predictions and stuff, and the general consensus does seem to be pretty, pretty the same with everyone, bar a couple maybe. But yeah,
we will put our predictions in the comments as well, so you can go and debate with us if you really want to.
Well, we'll need to put them twice though, because
because they're all the same.
less typing for you. But yeah, so that was our predictions video. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you agreed with us. Maybe, you never know. Like some people, you might think that we were being completely off the mark, and teams like Alfa Romeo might say the same. And you just never know. Like I said, things just change so quickly in F1, and you just don't know. But yeah,
you honestly don't. The surprises we get is just you can't. Even though we're predicting it right now, you just can never predict it.
Exactly. I'll be intrigued obviously over the next few months now to see what gets confirmed and what happens. But I feel quite confident in my predictions. We'll come back in a few months' time and probably laugh at how wrong we are. But we'll see.
And we've not mentioned bloody race week.
Oh yeah, race week. Even though I'm missing it.
Oh, I get home 7 minutes to spare.
No, I'll be in the middle of a field in Dursbury, so I'm not going to be watching it. So I'm going to have it on record. I'm going to get back on the Monday. I'm going to get in bed because I'll probably need it. Nice recovery, and we'll sit and watch the F1. I'll miss the football as well, so I'm going to watch the football on Monday as well. Have a nice catch up with everything. But and I'm gutted as well because Spa is literally my favourite race, favourite track. I look forward to it all year. I was a few weeks ago. I was like, yeah, not until Spa, and I went, oh, for God's sake, I'm not even at home that weekend. So it's fine. Obviously, I'm off next week, the weekend after for Zandvoort, so I get to watch that live, and I'm off the weekend after that to watch what we on the weekend after that. I don't even know.
Oh, I don't know. It's because we've had a couple of weeks off. I'm like,
this break has been horrible.
It's felt like an eternity.
I'm going to find out what it is now because I feel like I need to know. I'm like, it's going to stress me out.
Go on, Chel.
Monza.
There we go.
We've got Belgian, Dutch, and then Monza.
So you'll probably have a few reviews from us during those times, hopefully.
We also need to do like a mid-season review, I think, as well, to see what we all think about everything so far. But it should be a lot of interesting stuff coming, hopefully. But yeah,
go.
I'm just gonna try and stop waffling and
we both are now. It's getting to the end of the video. I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, I need to get in bed and watch the Love Island final. So, but yeah, I think we're pretty much done here now. Obviously, we'll get this video up as soon as we finish recording. Obviously, we'll post the links on Twitter and everything so you can view it. Like I said, the aim was to be live, but that didn't happen. But you'll get it up in the next half an hour anyway. So it's all good. We've got a list of things that we're going to look at filming soon. So obviously we'll discuss between us what we're going to put up, and we'll let you all know on Twitter and everything, you know, when we're going to film. We'll try and go live in the future,
after races and things
after
like
race
that
and stuff,
when we're free.
Yeah, when we've got time, obviously, yeah. But like I said, we'll get that all sorted. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Thanks for bearing with us today. And yeah, all the links and everything for the social medias are down in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and everything, and we'll keep you updated for when we're going to be uploading next. I've just realised this video is only 35 minutes long.
Yeah, so we will go.
A bit. But yeah, thanks for watching. All our links for our social medias will be down in the description. Yeah, see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.